Hello, everyone, and welcome to Walker's Specialty Stretch. My name is Rachel, co-founder of Flow State. Excited to have you here today. If you've been out on the trails and getting some miles in, stretching is really important to keep you feeling well and from stiffening up too much. So this workout, stretching routine, is designed to help balance the body out after a long walk or multiple walks, and even running for that matter. So let's start. Take a few deep breaths in, widen out the feet. Circle sweep the arms up. Inhale, exhale down. Inhale, circle sweep. Exhale down. And one more time, circle sweep up. Exhale down, and then just really sink down into the hips in sort of a sumo squat. Right hand to the thigh, left arm reach up as though you're reaching for something off a shelf, but your hips are anchored down. And then switch sides. Reach up. And let's do that a little quicker. Reach up with the left and up with the right. Let's do 4 more. Keep the hips low. You're getting a nice side stretch here. Inhale, exhale, 2 more. Reach and down. 1 more. Reach and down. And then wide-legged forward fold. Fingertips to the floor. Push the heels wide. Feet become parallel. Bring the palms down to the mat and relax the neck and shoulders. Maybe shake the head no, shake the head yes. Feeling that stretch down the hamstrings and slightly into the calves, maybe in the low back. And from here, we'll lunge. So actually drive down into your right hip and knee. So get nice and low. Hello, foam roller. And you will need a foam roller for class today as well. Sink down into the hips. And as you do, we're getting this nice inner thigh stretch. If that bothers your knee at all, just stay higher. My heel has actually popped off the ground because with a knee bend like this, my heel wouldn't be able to stay on the ground. Okay, my left leg's nice and long, so I'm gonna reach my left arm out and get that additional stretch. Feels fantastic. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep the core strong. All right, return the left hand, shift body weight over to the other side, sink down into hips, and your toes, I should say, the toes on the leg that you're stretching, that nice long leg, they can point up to the ceiling a little bit. You could also rotate them around to see where your biggest stretch is. Generally speaking, that's the default. The heel can lift up on this other side and then reach the right arm out. And that's where the stretch really sinks in. Take a breath in and breath out. And good. All right, come on to all fours here for a moment and then take a seat. We need to work a little bit of abs because when we're out walking, there's a tendency for the abs to relax, the low back to kick on, and the hip flexors to grip. So we need to offset that today. Let's roll down one vertebrae at a time, really carving out the abs along the way. Use your abs, lift up on tailbone, pull in on hip tips. When you get to the bottom, reach the arms overhead. And let's come back up again. Reach with the fingertips, chin towards chest, start to roll up. It's hard to do. If your feet fly up, that's okay. Just work on it. Roll down again. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, roll up. Inhale at the top. One more roll down. Roll down. Really articulate the spine. Do the best you can. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, roll up. This time we're going to roll down and stay down for some crunches. So rolling all the way down, fingertips behind the head, reposition the feet as needed, and then lift and lower. And as we're crunching, think about cradling the head in the fingertips, elbows point out to the sides, and we're really driving and pulling the rib cage down towards the hip tips and lifting the shoulder blades off the ground behind us. Exhale, crunch, inhale back. Exhale, crunch, inhale back for 3, 2, 1, and wonderful. Reverse curls, fingertips to the ground, lift the legs up. And this time we're gonna roll the hips up off the ground and the knees float over the chest. Option to keep the hands off the ground so that we're not using the arms unnecessarily. And let's begin. Lift and lift. I like to think about that I've just put my big toes into a pail of blue paint, and I'm going to pop the toes and make 2 little dots on the ceiling. Let's go 3, 2, 1, and nice work. Feet down, hip bridges, roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. This is just nice and healthy for the spine and hips, activating glutes. Roll down again. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, roll up. Inhale, exhale, roll down. Inhale. 2 more times, rolling up, hold, and roll down. Take your time articulating the spine, using the abs on the way. And 1 more time, rolling up. Big inhale, relax the shoulders. Exhale, roll down. Perfect. Come on up to sitting. Grab your foam roller. We're going to focus on calves, glutes, quads, and hip flexors today. So let's get the foam roller and put the center or the thickest part of your calf on the foam roller to lead out. And then put the other leg on top. Put some pressure down there. And you can lift up on the hips to put added pressure or stay seated if there is enough happening here. And the idea is it might feel a little uncomfortable. When the muscles are tight and they need to be released, it will feel uncomfortable. Almost like massage. It hurts, but you know that it's helping you. So in the same way, this will help you. All right, let's move. Let's push the foam roller down just 1/2 inch to 1 inch and then put the other leg on top. And then lift the hips up, putting some pressure down, breathing in, breathing out. And when you find a spot, really try and hang out there for a little while, meaning about 20 seconds, nothing too long. And release. Let's push it down 1 more time, only by 1 inch or so. We always stay off the joints with the foam roller and lift up. We want to stay on the muscle, on the fleshy part of the body. Hold and breathe. And release. Good, let's switch to the other side. Shake the arms out. Shake the arms out. Okay, other side. So we're gonna put the widest part of the right calf down. And that's generally where we have the most muscle tissue that we're trying to work through. The other leg can go on top. Now, depending on how this feels, if it already feels uncomfortable, you don't need to lift the hips. But if you're not feeling a whole lot, that's when you wanna lift up, get a little upper body workout while you're releasing into your calves. So let's hold here and breathe for a moment. Again, it might feel a little uncomfortable, and you might feel also that you're on the edge of something, or if you move just a little to the left, you would feel more or less. That's you learning where your tight spots are, and you can go there or choose not to. And release. Let's lower the foam roller down the leg, 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and then lift the hips up again. I don't even think I need to lift my hips for this spot. This is good and tight. So I'm just gonna hang out here. I've been doing a lot of walking. We have a walking challenge right now with Flow State, and it's 10,000 steps every day. And that is more than what I've been doing. So I'm feeling it, and it's time to stretch. Let's lower the foam roller down again, 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and pay attention to how things are changing here a little bit. You could lift the hips or keep them down. So we're really doing some myofascial release here. We're unlocking these areas of constriction and allowing the muscle a better range of motion, ultimately improving flexibility at our joints. And release. Now we're going to do some ABCs. If you're ever in track, you're going to recognize what we're going to do here. So just put your leg up on the other knee and then start tracing A, B, C with your toes, D. And what this does, as you trace the alphabet here, I forget where I am, is it helps to strengthen the right muscles in the ankle, leading up into the tibialis anterior. And that's going to serve you when you're running and walking. And I don't know where I am. All right, we're gonna do X, Y, and Z. There we are. All right, other side. Bring that leg up and let's do our alphabet. Now, of course, you can do this from a chair if it's more comfortable, and strengthen at the same time. So this is a great thing to do actually before you go out for a walk or before you go out for a run. And get in Z. There we go. And actually, it's really warm up your leg doing that. You feel it. All right, back to foam rolling. Glutes. We'll put the foam roller underneath the glutes here, and we'll work the left glute. So what I want you to do is lean over onto your left hand and then cross your left ankle over the right knee. And from here, we're getting some good pressure on the left glute. And imagine that you're putting pressure on where you would perceive your back pocket of your jeans to be, right in the center. And then pull the knee towards your chest gently. Maybe rock a little left and right and feel it out. Meaning, find the spot that feels like the right spot for you to put pressure on today and hang out there. Let's hold. Deep breath in and deep breath out. One more time, maybe move a little bit, find a new spot. And good, switching it up, other side. So now I'm gonna turn around here a little bit for you. You're gonna lean over to your right, put your right ankle over the left knee, and then find that back pocket area through the foam roller and put a little pressure down. Take your breath in and breath out. Enjoy it, sink right in and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Maybe move a little bit, find something new. Find something new and take your breath in and breath out. And good, there can be some real tight stuff in there. Good stuff. Okay, quads. We'll get onto the hands and knees, and you're gonna place the foam roller underneath the thighs. And essentially you're in a forearm plank here, and the point that you're pressing on is your thighs through the foam roller and your forearms. So those are the pieces that are touching the ground. And let's move forward. So you're going to actually start the foam roller right at the top of the thigh and below the pubic bone. And then take your time moving forward. Keep your abs strong too. We don't want to see saggy hips here. So lift up through the belly and pull yourself through 1 inch, hold, and pull yourself. We're just kind of sensing how things are feeling. And we should talk about the position of your leg as well. We want to make sure that we have the toes pointed down, and then draw the body forward. Breathing in and breathing out. And let's roll forward another inch. And we're going to stay off the knee joint. So make sure that we don't get onto the kneecap. Take your breath in and breath out. And right before you get to the kneecap, we'll stop. And we're going to come back to the hip crease here, because you want to get the hip flexor. When we do a lot of walking, these hip flexors can get tight, running as well. And so what we're going to do is, first I'm going to have you identify where is your hip flexor. So where your hips crease, where your leg folds here, I want you to put pressure on that spot slightly laterally. So not straight on the front, but just a little to the side. It might feel like the front to you though. So sink in, and then the leg that you're pressing on, just relax the knee so that the knee is on the ground. And as you hang out there for a while, you notice it's not as sharp as, say, your calf release or maybe even the glute release. This can feel a little bit more like a deeper ache. At least that's what it feels like to me. I can tell it's good, but it's not so sharp. and that's okay. All right, and release. Let's switch to the other side. We'll rest the crease of the hip down on the foam roller, put some pressure there. And I'm just moving my other leg out of the way so you can see what's happening here. And actually that works anyway. So again, it's where your hip creases when you bend your knee, or I should say when you bring your thigh up towards your chest. That's the space we're trying to press on. So it's below your hip bone and it's above your thigh, generally speaking. And you can rock maybe forward or back slightly to find that area that feels like, oh, that's the spot. And you'll sense it, you'll feel it. And this just takes a little bit more, it takes a little bit more time for the sensation to set in. And good, let's release. All right, foam roller off to the side. And we'll get into our deeper stretches now that we're released. Lunge, let's take the right foot forward into a kneeling lunge. Hips drive forward, left arm stretches up to the sky. Squeeze the left glutes. That's very important to squeeze the glutes here as you reach. Let's take the breath in and breath out. And then fingertips to the floor, push the hips back for a hamstring stretch. And I like to wiggle my front heel forward just a little bit, and let's point and flex. And then roll the ankle around. That's where you really feel the stretch. At least that's where I'm really feeling the stretch. Through the hamstring, all the way up into the hip and then down into the calf as well. And runner's lunge, shifting body weight forward, bring the hands to the inside of the foot, drive the hips forward. And as you do, you can bring those hands, I should say the elbows closer to the mat or closer to the floor. And maybe so much so that you can drop the outside elbow down and you can hang out in your runner's lunge here. And really, we're driving the hips forward and down, but always this feeling of out and down. Let's breathe in and breathe out. And good. From here, lunge with internal rotation. I love this one. So let's lift your right arm and then pick up the back knee. So you're rotating your chest in towards your right inner thigh and reaching your right arm up to the sky. Squeeze your back glutes and release. And let's do all of that on the other side. So we'll get into our left leg forward, kneeling lunge. First, squeeze the glutes, then reach the right arm up to the sky, really driving the hips forward. Glutes tight, breathing in, breathing out. And from here, hamstring stretch, we can bring the fingertips down, press the hips back, opening through hamstring. We can point and flex the foot. If you roll the ankle around and other direction, breathing in and breathing out. And from this wonderful hamstring stretch, we're going to move into a runner's lunge. So start to shift body weight forward. The hands come to the inside of the foot, driving hips and chest outward and downward. We start to lower the elbows towards the ground. Maybe that outside elbow comes all the way down. It depends on how flexible we're feeling today and what our bodies need. So hang out and breathe and pay attention to what the hips are telling you and what your body's telling you. There's often a difference between, say, the right side of your body and the left side, as our body is a compilation of our experiences throughout our entire life. You can imagine that we're not perfectly balanced everywhere. All right, and start to come out of that stretch. Moving into our lunge with internal rotation. So keep the right hand down, lift the back knee up, and then rotate the chest in towards the left thigh. Reach the left arm up to the sky, squeeze the glutes, your right glutes and allow the knee to straighten gently. Keep reaching towards the ceiling, reaching through the rear heel, strong through the glutes, and release down. Wonderful stretch. And from here, downward facing dog with heel pump. So press the hips up and back, and we can pedal through the heels one at a time, finding that wonderful stretch down the back of the calf. Feels amazing, especially if you've been out getting in the steps, getting in the miles. And since we've released our hamstrings and glutes a little bit, you're going to be able to stretch your calves more effectively just due to how our fascial chain works. And from here, half pigeon or figure four. Let me show you half pigeon first. Right leg can fly high to sky and then drive the right knee all the way up to the right wrist and then kind of tuck the heel in and then start to relax the body down. So from the front, it looks a little bit like this with that heel forward, and then you wiggle the back leg back. You can come down onto the elbows here. I'm gonna show you all angles. There we are in the pigeon or half pigeon pose. Now figure four, if half pigeon doesn't work for you or you prefer figure four, you can lie on the back, right ankle over the left knee, and you just drive the knees into the chest here. All right, back to half pigeon for me. And let's hang out. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And just nestle in a little bit. This is a fantastic stretch that ought not be rushed because it just takes time for the body to unwind. So if you're going to spend time stretching and you only have a few minutes, this is going to be your go-to. That and your calves and maybe your hamstrings. But anyway, we'll just focus on the half pigeon. There are so many wonderful stretches and just not enough time in general. All right, from here, press back, downward facing dog, because we're going to switch sides. And left leg then flies high to sky, and we'll drive the left knee all the way through to the left wrist. Wiggle the other leg back, and we can come down onto the forearms, nestle in, and enjoy the stretch. And it takes a little time as the body starts to unwind. I look at muscles sort of like an onion, lots of layers, right? Lots of layers. And you got to start with the outside layer first. And so it takes time as your tightest or most global muscles start to release, and then that stretch sets in and spreads to other areas as well. Let's take another deep breath in, fully filling the lungs, and deep breath out. One more time, big breath in and breath out. Good. All right. All right, moving into calves, stretching out our calves. So we're going to get into a kind of a crouched position, and I kind of call it the starts position or your track start. So you're going to bring your heel, your left heel forward, and it's flat on the ground, and your other shin is on the ground. Okay, so from here, you're going to keep your left heel flat and kind of lean forward with your left knee and your body. And by leaving your heel on the ground here, what we're getting is more of a calf soleus stretch. Your soleus is a very important muscle leading down into your Achilles tendon that's just below your gastrocnemius. And this is a fantastic stretch. And if you don't feel a whole lot, good for you. It just means that your soleus is in good shape and it's still a good thing to do. And release. Let's do the other side. So with the other side, you're going to have your right heel flat, your other leg, your other shin is just comfortably on the ground. And what we'll do is lean forward through the right knee and through the body, keeping the right heel on the ground, and see what we feel here. And if you can get some downward pressure and some forward pressure, you can feel something. And it doesn't have to be really intense. Just know that it's good. And if it is really intense, you might want to move back a little bit so that it feels very safe and very healthy. And release. Okay, let's come to a forward fold. and slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Good. Roll the shoulders down and back. Big inhale up. Exhale down. One more. Calf stretch. So grab a dumbbell. I love using dumbbells for a calf stretch. I think it is one of the best stretches. If you don't have a dumbbell, just an elevated surface, a rolled up yoga mat would work as well, or the edge of a bench or something like that. Okay, so put the left ball of the foot on the weight. The heel is heavy. And then start to shift body weight forward. The other leg could maybe even step forward here a little bit. And what we're getting is this glorious stretch through the base of the foot, up the calf, and up the leg. Nice and tall. Pull in and up on hip tips. Squeeze the back glutes here a little bit. And enjoy your stretch. I like to internally rotate slightly. What that means is instead of having my toes point straight forward from the hips, the toe is pointed slightly inward compared to my hips. So what I do there is I just roll my hips just an inch or so inward towards the toes that I'm stretching, and then it creates this additional layer of wonderful stretch in the calf. Nice and tall, squeeze your glutes nice and tall. And if it gets too intense, just back off. That's a great stretch for walkers and runners, everyone actually. And release. And let's switch to the other side. So you're going to bring the right ball of the foot on the center of that dumbbell or whatever elevated surface you have, keeping the heel down. So the idea is that the ball of the foot is higher than the heel. And then we lift up through the chest. We're nice and tall. Squeeze the glutes. You can start stepping forward with the other leg, any amount. I think this is my tight calf today. I'm not going to get forward real well. Nice and tall. Tuck hip tips in and glutes down. We're nice and strong here. So we're really working on our posture while we're stretching through the calves. Breathing in, breathing out, and release. All right, set that weight off to the side. You made it through your walker's specialty stretch, and runners too. Widen out the feet, 3 deep breaths. Inhale, circle sweep up. Exhale down. Again, inhale, circle sweep up. Exhale down. One more time. Big breath in. And thank you for joining me, Rachel, with The Flow State. And we look forward to seeing you for more classes. You can find us at theflowstate.com, FLOSTATE. Looking forward to seeing you for more classes. Thanks so much. Bye.